Hello, my name is Nick Bambeck, and I am the History and Social Sciences librarian at UT Tyler's Robert R. Muntz Library. I am also currently the interim business librarian. So today I wanted to show you all some important library resources and services to help you succeed in HRD 5344. Uh, to get to the library homepage, type uttyler.edu/library. And the first thing you'll see is Swoop Search, which is our main discovery tool, which will help find pretty much any resource that we have in our physical and electronic collection. So definitely take a look at that. And then when we scroll down, we're going to see some quick links to important resources and services like information about the WISE Medical Research Library, questions for librarians of where to find your librarians, how to reserve study rooms, when are we open, and how to use the library both in person and both online. So take a look at those if you have a chance. The primary objective of today's tutorial is going to focus on this section called Swoop Search. I'm going to go through each of these tabs or hyperlinks to show you how they could be helpful for you to succeed in this class. The first thing I want to point out is that we have your textbook through the library. So I'm going to click on Library Textbooks. And we have a wonderful initiative through the Robert R. Muntz Library to help cost of fees and whatnot to purchase the required books for your classes every semester. We allocate funds in our budget, and we often get grants from the university as well to help make that possible. We make them equitable in terms of them being available in a digital format because a lot of our student population is distance education. So this is a wonderful resource and I want you to take advantage of it. To find your book, you're going to scroll down until you see HRD, and this is listed alphabetically. And it's going to be this box right here. And we're going to click on that. And then we're going to look for the book for your class, which is 5344, the Conflict Resolution Toolbook. And there's no limit in terms of the number of users who could be on this book. Sometimes for some of the books, there'll be like 1, 3, or 6 users at a time. Luckily, the book for your class, you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to click on the book. And it'll usually say availability, and we have access to it, and it's unlimited, which means every student in this class can be on there at the same time. And you are able to do that. And usually to download parts of a book, like chapters or sections or whatnot, usually there's a limit. And usually it's about 10% of the book, give or take. And you could download up to 52 pages per day as PDF files. And the good thing about this is that once you download it within a 24-hour period and you reach your maximum number of pages, you're able to do that the next day. So the way to treat that is you have these PDFs, PDFs available to you forever. So you can definitely, your phone, your tablet, your computer, and you could, of course, print them out if you want to, but the downloads for the PDF files never expire. So if you wanted to look at a specific chapter, like if you wanted to look at, let's say, chapter 3, the conflict story, a case study, you can go into the book and you could read it if you want to. But if you want to download it as a PDF file, you can go right here, download PDF, and then you click continue. And it might ask you, like in this case, to sign in with your UT Tyler credentials, which I will do right now. And it will say that it is ready for you to download. So you can click the download button and there you go. You have chapter 3 at your disposal. I think this is better than downloading the entire book just because it's a little bit more manageable. You don't get as overwhelmed and it's easier to find keywords if you do a control F to find specific keywords or to take notes. I just think it's a little bit easier to do that. So you have this book, so definitely take advantage of it and read it. and it's freely available through library. It's a wonderful initiative that I hope you all take advantage of. Let's go back to the library homepage and let's look at databases by title next. We have subscription to over 300 databases, and on this page, you will see every database that we have subscription to. It's a very large page. And usually on the right-hand side, we'll have like a top 10 featured databases here, like APA PsycInfo, JSTOR, uh, ProQuest, PubMed, et cetera. If you want to look at databases that pertain to, say, HRD, you can do that by clicking on the Dropbox titled All Subjects, and then you could find it and click on it. And we have 23 different databases that are there that relate to this particular subject. And in the yellow box are the best bets, which essentially are the ones that I think you will probably use for your research projects. And there's about, I would say, 10 listed, and it's everything from APA PsycInfo, Business Source Complete, Education Source, Scopus, and so on. It's wonderful. Now, those are the ones I think you'll use, but also the ones that are not listed in that yellow box are also valuable resources as well for you to use. Now, the thing is it depends on your classes and the topics and the research. So it's really, really imperative that you consult as many databases as possible for your research projects. And the other thing too I like about the databases too is that we also have not only my contact information if you have any questions or you want to book an appointment with me or contact me in general, we also have access, direct access really, to the research guides for really HRD. So definitely check that out too if you are needing clarification or you just want to look at all the wonderful resources we have through the library. I'm going to go back and I want us to look next at journals by title, which I'm going to take you to Browsine, which is a wonderful resource that houses our peer-reviewed and scholarly journal publications. And as you can see right here, we have a search bar, and you can search by title, subject, or ISSN. Now, the only thing I'm going to say is when you search for a journal in Browsine with the search bar, you have to be exact in terms of the words that you are inputting. So there can't be any misspellings or any punctuation errors or anything of that nature. It's very cut and dry. So you want to make sure that when you look for journals on Browsine, now, if you're looking for a specific journal and you know that everything's correct and it says there's no results found, that means we probably don't have access to that journal, which means you would have to request that item through the interlibrary loan service. So it's really, really important to keep that in mind. Let's go to the business section. And you could see that we have several journals that relate to business. And if you want to look at business and you wanted to look at specific area or topic, and you want to look at HRD, for example, there's many, many journals that we have available on this particular subset of business, and it's listed alphabetically. But if you want to look at the impact and the journal rank for these journals, you see that Journal of Human Resources is the highest ranked, followed by Human Relations and Human Resource Management, and so on. So it's just another interesting way to kind of compare journals, but they're all valid resources that you can use to find resources for your project. Now, the one thing I will say too is you can create a free account by clicking the gear button. And I highly recommend that for two reasons, because you're in a graduate level class, because you could get alerts and emails about specific keywords in publications that you follow. And like, say, if you want to follow like AI in HRD, and if there's new articles in a specific publication about that topic, it'll send you an email that says, hey, here's a new article with these keywords, and one of them is artificial intelligence or AI, which is incredible. Or you could save articles which would be located here, and you could create bookshelves and folders, and it just makes it so much easier. And the one thing I will say too is that you can download the Browsine app on your phone or tablet, And it's just another way for you to interact with the resources. And sometimes some people might be better with their phones when it comes to this stuff. So it's a very multifaceted tool, and I really like it because it's very easy to follow, and you can find high quality resources that way. We're going to go back to the library homepage, and we're going to look at the advanced search option. Now, this is for swoop search, which is our main discovery tool. And you could use the filters to find pretty much any resource we have through the library here. And if you're not sure what you're trying to find, you just keep it as any field, so it's like a catch-all. But you could narrow it down by looking for a title or the author or a specific subject. And you can narrow it down by resource type, like a book or an article or a journal. And you could look at the date range under publication date. And you can have as many lines and many keywords as you want to. But the reason why I really brought you here is because you could sign into your account on the top right-hand corner, but it's probably the easiest way for you to find and search for journals. And it is like browsing has the peer-reviewed and academic journal publications, but this is where we would have, say, the non-scholarly or non-peer-reviewed resources in our collections. So if we want to look up like Harvard Business Review, for example, and the fact that it's generating results underneath is a good sign that we probably have it. So if you want to look up Harvard Business Review, and sometimes it's not the first option, and sometimes it's not the second, so you just have to kind of bear that in mind. But if you wanted to look up Harvard Business Review, for example, you look at two things. You see about the date range, so it's available from 1922 to the present, and then you want to see if there's any embargoes or delays in publication. So if might be like a 1-year embargo, just because that's what our subscription to it has. So it's really, really important that you do that. If you want to look up, say, Harvard Business Review, it might prompt you to log into your UT Tile credentials if you're off campus. And what's really cool is that from here, it'll tell you like you're searching within Harvard Business Review. It'll tell you like what is this publication, what are the subjects that it's related to, the publisher's website, how often it's published, which is every 2 months, and if it's peer reviewed. If you only like every issue of Harvard Business Review, you can click on search within its publication, and then the acronym JN is journal, and then in quotation marks is Harvard Business Review. So you can keep that. And if you want to search within this publication, this is where you would begin your search. So if you want to look up like conflict resolution, they have 96 articles from 1929 to 2023 that relate to that. And then you could scroll down and you could do more filters like by subject or geography or so on. But it's a really good resource to know. But that's really why I wanted to show you the advanced search option there. Let's go back to the library homepage and let's take a look at interlibrary loan, which is under find borrow request, and it's going to be right here under request interlibrary loan. And this is what I've kind of been mentioned throughout the presentation. This is really important, especially when you're a graduate student. We may not be able to have every resource that you need to complete your research projects, but you can get items beyond the Robert R. Muntz library. So you can create a free ILL account to get articles, books, and other types of resources for your projects. Now, the one thing I'll say is that just because you have access to your library account and you are a student, you still have to create an ILL account because there are fees and fines that accrue if an item is late. And this really applies primarily to physical items. If it's like an electronic item, like a article, it just expires. There's no late fees per se, and you don't check them out. You just have to do the request. You have to do another request if you didn't save the article in that time. So it's really, really important. So if you've never registered for an ILL account, you click here to register and you go from there. Last thing I wanted to show everyone really quick was the research guides. So you're going to go to here and you're going to click on research guides by subject. And then you're going to scroll down until you see HRD. And we're going to look at the Human Resource Development Guide. And here's the guide, and there's information about books, databases, websites, methods, and so on. And I think that's all really wonderful, important information. So if you need assistance of any kind, always consult this guide, and you'll find a lot of wonderful information there. Now, if you wanted to contact me, you could do that by email, which is at nbambeck@uttyler.edu. You could also book an appointment with me through my bookings page, which is listed here, and they're 30-minute and 60-minute appointments. If you want to make an appointment for me tomorrow at, say, 1 p.m., you click on that, and then you answer all these questions. So name, email, phone, if you want to meet in person or virtual, the subject. I have a lot of subjects right now just because I'm an interim business librarian, so that's why. Usually it's not that many. I want to know the course number, just helps me understand what are the research needs for your class and what project you need to complete. And just tell me a little bit about your assignment. Like what is it that you need help with, pretty much. And then you book the appointment, I get it. And then if it's a Zoom link, I'll insert a Zoom link into that so you could see it, and it all works perfectly. Like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I am very happy to help you all. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I look forward to working with all of you this semester in HRD 5344. Thank you.